Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Michaela Peters. I look like a disaster because I am one today, and today's video is inspired by my brother. I was thinking about calling this video the worst day ever, but instead I'm going to call it the problem with America. Because that's a lot of what my channel is about, is how much I hate America, and I chronically have a laundry list of things I can add to it. I just walked around outside to try to get the nerves out, and I might need to go for a run. I don't really sleep anymore now that I have a child, so. And I have blisters because I unexpectedly went for a very long walk in my, what are those things called again? These sandals that give me blisters. Birkenstocks, which are my, running around shoes. Alright, so, I got laid off today from corporate America, and there was something that I learned a long time ago, back when I was dating somebody, and I was like, sometimes your body knows before your brain does, and I got blindsidedly broken up with, and that really sucked, and I stopped eating for like 2 weeks, and I'm thinking something like that might happen again now. This sucks, because basically, this is what's gonna happen. I'm going to spend the first day shell-shocked, not crying at all. The next 2 days are going to be bad, and then I'm going to feel really bad for a long time. I don't know if this is a little bit different because you try to understand that it's not so personal because it's a riff, right? Reduction in force. Even now as I'm making this video, like, my heart is pounding. And, this is a very hard, vulnerable thing to share on the internet, as is a lot of stuff on my channel. But, that's why people like it, I guess, because it's raw and unfiltered. But, anyway, this meeting popped up on my calendar that should not have been there, and I was like, oh no. Immediately, I was like, oh no. And one of the other things that was happening was they were trying to move me or this other girl over to a different role. Both of us got fired, and we're on the same team. And I think, they were trying to maybe salvage one of us, but they weren't really going to give me a pay increase, and the job was going to be a lot harder than what I was already doing. Naturally, as somebody with an 8-month-old and a #single parent, I was not really up for that. And apparently, as both my brother and my father said today, they were like, well, you are seen as not a team player, and so, therefore somebody to be included in a riff. Which, really sucks because I've gone through a lot of changes this year, okay? Obviously, I had a relationship with somebody who left me high and dry with a child. I love my child, no regrets there, but that was really hard because, I was like, this is the one, and it turned out not to be because I was going to make another video about this personality does not equal character. So I feel like there are people I get along with really well, but at the end of the day, it's just they're not always showing good character traits when it comes to being friends or being in a relationship with them. Fine. That sucked, whatever, I survived. I think probably that experience was so hard that this sucks, but you know what? Thank you, Finland. You have prepared me for something that's really terrible because I went through so much bad stuff thanks to Finland. Really. So the ironic part is Finland really probably helped me with emotional regulating more than I even knew. Wow, that's I wasn't even expecting to get that out of making this video. Amazing. So, I was really into making YouTube videos for basically the entire duration of my pregnancy. I keep saying you could not pay me enough money to go back to being pregnant. It was literally the worst time period of my life for so many reasons, and literally, I joke that God did not step in until I call God 11th hour man, and, kind of saved me from everything that was going on, but I was stressed out the entire pregnancy. I have a baby who is literally so good and so happy all the time that I joke that she's just simply immune to stress because I was super stressed out the whole time I was pregnant. So, I don't know. I had a rough weekend, and I decided to start making a journal where I write down prayers, and so it's a manifestation guide. That's the way I like to do it, at least. And I was like, God, something in my life needs to change, and please make it very obvious. And then the next day I get fired, and I'm like, hey, that wasn't what I was looking for. And then my brother goes, well, stop asking God for favors. And I was like, maybe you're right. I like to think I have control over my life. The reality is none of us have control. Things like this can happen all the time. Your house can burn down, like what happened recently in my family. So there are just so many things that can go wrong. And it's that's why when things are going right, you really gotta just appreciate it. I had friends visiting from Finland, as I talked about, and they're talking about how stressed out they are at work. And they're like, Michaela, you don't seem stressed out at all. And I'm like, look, man, I was like, did I talk about this yesterday? Maybe, I don't know, baby brain. I'm like, I have relatively no gaps in my employment. I don't doubt my ability to get a job. So if I get laid off, I'll get severance for a little bit and I'll simply find a new job. Everybody's saying the job market is really competitive, but because I'm really good at networking and people think I'm personable, question mark. I worked last night at the restaurant. That was what I wanted to do a video about today, was being a waitress in Finland or just abroad versus the US, but I will save that for a different time when I'm not trying to get this message out. But yeah, so anyway, somebody at the restaurant last night was like, said I was very personable, and I was like, question mark. Also, you know what? There was this girl there who was so upset she was crying. She didn't eat any of her food. And I was like, are you okay? And then she was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I could tell this girl was not okay. There's just been a lot of like people not being okay recently. And my heart goes out to everybody, including myself. What? You know, because it's like, I had a friend say to me, like, when the fire thing happened a couple months ago, he's like, I just feel bad for you because, like, so many bad things keep happening to you in your life. And I don't really actively sit around and think that about myself, but, like, because I'm like, it could always be worse. But, like, yeah, I've gone through stuff that's been, like, objectively hard. I think the pregnancy thing was hard. Yeah, so back to that point about going through the pregnancy. I think I made a lot of YouTube videos to distract myself from what was going on with the pregnancy. My mom one day said, you're, like, in denial about being pregnant. Like, TBH, probably, yeah, I was. I just tried to, like, pretend I was not pregnant and, like, live my life as normally as I could because I knew once the baby came, that was no longer going to be a thing. And then biology sets in, and then you get super, like, I don't even want to leave the baby, etc., etc. Okay, so, you know, I was not a team player because I didn't want to accept this other job. So, you know, maybe it was like, as my dad said, they were trying to throw me a line, you know, to like keep me in. Because now it's like, I have not interviewed and applied for a job since like literally the beginning of 2022. Like, we were talking 4 years ago. That's like a whole college degree later. And this is going to be rough. And I have resources and I am confident in my ability. But, you know, I had this whole plan and I was kind of like throwing off my plan, and there have been a lot of changes. Changes. I can't talk. See, it's because I'm stressed out. Changes this year. I had to move. Moving is stressful. I'm still not done moving. I still have crap all over the place. As you can see, my random mural wall, I'm still working on because I'm going to like keep going with that. But, you know, this is taking forever. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, I really, this is like the video I made about like alexithymia, where it's like, I don't even really, like, know how I'm feeling right now. I'm, like, normally for me, I'm the kind of person where I'm like, all right, there's a problem, we're going to fix it. I got fired, I'll just get a new job, right? This is, like, yeah, I'm probably going to do that. But I think it really sucks because, like, I liked my team. And I'll be honest, I have been thinking about trying to do something different for a while because I don't know, maybe I didn't feel like I was feeling motivated or engaged enough, like if I'm being perfectly honest, or a lot of it was like wanting to make more money. And my brother's like, yeah, you're incentivized by money. I'm not, haha. And he's like, because you'll probably send out at least 20 job applications in the next week. And I'm thinking way more than that, dude, but okay. And it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, the whole thing is like, you know, I chose not to move to a different position due to the fact that I had a child and I was trying to put my family first. And so because I'm not like, you know, top of the pack and I'm like middle of the pack, therefore, like, I'm not valued and I am chewed up and spit out. And this is what they say all the time. Corporate America will chew you up and spit you out. I guess so. I guess that's the price you pay. You're like indispensable for having a higher salary. Okay, cool. Like, it's not even like my salary was that high. So maybe this channel is now going to shift away from the housing market thing to what my new quest for a job is going to look like. Or do I just sell everything I own and go to Finland? Tempting. I actually was like, I think I might just apply to jobs in Helsinki, but my family is going to die if I permanently remove the baby from them. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do right now, besides apply for new jobs. And I mean, the good thing is it's like summer, so I can just work at the restaurant, I guess. I have no idea. I really don't know. And, like, you know, I saw this meeting on my calendar, and I was like, crap. And I immediately drove the baby to my dad's house, and I was like, something bad is about to happen, so I need you to take her. My aunt was going to come get her, but not at that exact moment. And I knew I was going to be able to get her to sleep in like 20 minutes. But maybe this is a blessing in disguise since I did very specifically pray yesterday that something needs to change in my life and it needs to be very obvious. And why this was getting fired is a great question. But, you know, the only thing is, like, yes, we know in some ways I'm very hardworking, blah, blah, blah. Being a YouTuber, a lot of work, blah, blah, blah. But, like, in some ways I'm really lazy, and, like, I just did not feel like applying for new jobs, which is why I just kept putting it off. And it's like beggars can't be choosers. It's like finding a relationship, which is also, like, a terrible quest. So, but finding a job is actually necessary. Finding a relationship is not. That's kind of like a want. Wants versus needs. So, I don't know. My brother tried to remind me I'm never going to be, like, homeless, because probably I could get bailed out if I really needed to. But as we talked about, we're both too prideful to, like, really do that. I don't know. So anyway, what today is going to look like is I'm probably going to do all the clerical crap. It's kind of like my house burned down, but instead it was just my job. My career life burned down. I kept, like, chronically saying I was really paranoid about getting fired, and, like, I kind of, it's like, hate to say I told you so, but, like, yes. And my parents were putting so much pressure on me, especially when I got pregnant, like, you need to, like, hold on to this job and blah, 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 and, like, I don't know, man. I've been putting so much work into, like, making my home comfortable, like, a home, because I really want to feel at home in my home. What? So I don't think leaving my home is the right move. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, I have a whole fan base here of, like, a crap ton of people. So if anybody knows a job opening and wants to shoot it at me, especially via email, please feel free. I'm trying to think. Yeah, just send it to my migratorymichaela@gmail.com. Like, what do I even do? Data crap. No, I do data visualization, mostly on Tableau. And yeah. What else do I do? Pretty much I was just doing that. And then I studied for, like, 10 years, so I know a lot of other crap, but I haven't used it. I don't know. But this sucks. The other thing I'm super pissed off about, and the biggest thing that I would advise people, take all your FMLA at once, because I don't even know what's going to happen with my FMLA. I still had 7 paid weeks left of FMLA. So I don't know if they're going to release that to me all at once, or if they're just going to, like, not give it to me, which would, like, totally suck. So I should have just taken it at the beginning when the baby was really young, but hindsight is 2020. So I don't know. I think the biggest thing that this has taught me is that probably I need to live a much more stable life and stop being so migratory, because maybe it's adding undue stress. I was trying to plan another trip in July to get out to Colorado to visit some friends, but now I might just be like, I got laid off, so this is not going to work. I don't know. Or do I just be like YOLO and do it anyway? I have no idea. Like, I just don't know. It's like, I'm trying to talk through this. I don't know. This is what the YouTube channel is. It's me. What did my friend say? I'm an emotional autist. Sure, I agree with that. I probably am an emotional autist. But, I don't know. The weather's nice outside. This is when I say it would be a sin not to run outside today. So, honestly, I might just go make myself do that. But either way, I gotta, like, you know, start doing some stuff, because this is not gonna solve itself, this problem. Well, thank you everybody who supports me. Maybe I'll try to come up with some fun ways, like you could buy merch to support me now that I am SOL, as we like to say, in the not cursing way, non-profane way. It'll be fine. Like, I went through something so much worse than this, casually. Also, I already, like, do have a job. I still work at the restaurant. So, I mean, do I want to work at the restaurant full time? No. Definitely not. Like, definitely not. But is that what's going to need to happen? I don't know. The saddest thing is I don't want to give up my computer. No. I also need to see if they're, like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of crap to do in this next week. So I might disappear for a week again, just trying to, like, do all this stuff that needs to get done. I have a couple of videos that I really need to get edited. One is an interview with my grandfather. The other one is an interview with somebody who I helped her get a NASA internship. So wait a second. That's what I should do. I should start advertising that I can help people get NASA internships. There are a lot of things to do here, and we're going to think about it. Okay, well, thanks for coming to my TED Talk about why America sucks, and it's because corporate America will chew you up and spit you out, and you're apparently not a team player just because you had a child and you're trying to put your family first. Like, what the heck is this country? I can't even deal with it half the time. You know, the only reason I want to get my child Finnish citizenship is because, as I have said, I was so stressed out my entire life that all I really wanted was to just be less stressed out. And I felt a little bit less stressed out, well, in some ways, and I don't know. Basically, being in Finland, I feel significantly less stressed out. I just have different problems, and this is what I always say, pick your problems. So, the problem is currently that I have a mortgage, and I have no way to pay it, and I am screwed, and well, I'm not completely screwed, I guess, but, you know, yeah, as my friend said, your mind just is going in circles, and it's like, yeah, my mind is going in circles. It's not even in circles, it's like in squiggly lines, and I'm like, but you have this, but you have this, but you have this, but the YouTube channel, that makes money, but that doesn't make enough money, and how am I gonna get all this money? I need this much money, and then it's like, who has time for any of this, and I have a child, and da-da-da. So, I wish bad stuff would stop happening, but that's simply not how life works. So be grateful for every second of every day of your life where something bad is not happening. That's all I have to say. All right, well, I'm going to try to have a good attitude in spite of this awful situation. Like, I was literally planning the next 4 years of my life around keeping this job. Yeah. All right, now my coworker's online, so we're going to collaborate. Let's go do this now. Collaborate for getting our new jobs. Let's go. All right, well, thanks very much. And until next time, bye.